Hey everybody, welcome back to Right Side Pride podcast. We got Angela over there. Our special guest Juan is still with us. I'm Hector. Of course, today we had breaking news happening in Minnesota. The ICE shooting, or the ICE agent shooting an individual who tried to run them over. We have some video here of that incident. I'm going to play the video and then I want to get y'all's thoughts on it.
No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my God!
Let's bring in our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas.
So my first question is, why is there always that one nagging, loud, cackling hyena? Like that's number one. Number two, thoughts on the shooting. Angela, I know you're a former police officer. Give me y'all's thoughts on kind of what y'all saw in that video. And I know there's other angles that y'all may have seen as well, so I'm happy to share
Yeah.
your thoughts on those.
You're allowed, as any law enforcement officer, you're trained and allowed to protect yourself, to stop the threat with the force necessary to stop the threat. Nothing above and beyond. Deadly force is authorized when appropriate to stop the threat. From that video and then the videos I've seen from different angles, there was a threat on at least one of those ICE agents' lives while that woman driving into him. The one angle, and it wasn't in that video, but there's an angle from the front where he's hit. He's sideswiped. He had every right to defend himself. He feared for his life. I'm imagining I would. I've had people drive at me before too. Not that close. I was able to get out of the way, but he had to defend himself, stop the threat, and he did. I feel bad for that woman inserting herself into something she had no business doing. Evidently, she was married and had a 6-year-old kid. Probably should have been home with them.
I've heard them, and I forget the exact term. Sorry to cut you off. I forget the exact term. They were calling themselves, was it constitutional watchers or something like that?
Official. There's some made up bullshit term. Official observers or something.
Yeah, constitutional observers or something. Like we're here to make sure they're doing their jobs.
Observing means standing and watching things happen, not inserting
Right.
yourself into the scenario.
Like they audit the police people.
Yes. Oh God, they're so annoying.
Yeah, and I agree with Angela. It's your vehicle in seconds can become a multi-ton weapon in seconds. And from the other angle, which again wasn't in the video, but it's from the ABC station, the KSTP ABC affiliate in Minneapolis, that angle shows it from the other side where the ICE officer is actually hit on the driver's side. There were unconfirmed reports that he is in the hospital at the moment. Haven't seen any updates on that just yet. But Christy Nome just spoke in the last hour saying the exact same thing that we're saying here, that vehicle at that point is a weapon, and those officers were justified in using any force in order to stop that threat. And on the ABC video, she continues driving. She accelerates and hits the other vehicles. Now, by that point, was it intentional? We're not sure. Getting shot in the face twice. We know her foot may just gone, but still, that vehicle accelerates and hits two other vehicles that way. Regardless, you're impeding a federal investigation. You're impeding officers. I was brought up. I don't know where the whole right and wrong, like people lost that. They're enforcing the law. They're enforcing a lot of laws that have been passed by both parties over the years. That is what they're doing, enforcing the laws in the books. You don't impede officers in their line of work.
And then you had Tim Walz come on and talking about the local law enforcement they didn't know they were in town. They just kind of dropped in and I guess my biggest point about him saying that is the fact that these Democratic governors have blatantly come out and said we will not work with ICE if they're here.
Well,
So
the mayor of
yeah,
Minneapolis also said he won't, and he came out and said after the shooting, "Get the f out of
yeah.
my city."
So and that's not the only one. You had Mayor Idiot Bass out in Los Angeles, saying essentially the same thing. None of them are going to have their officers working with ICE. So how do they expect these things to, or these what am I word I'm looking for? Their missions or whatever, like
Operation.
operation. There you go. These operations, how do they expect them to happen safely if they're sitting here calling them fascists and Nazis and Gestapo and everything else?
So that's a very good point, and we know all of this goes back to when Joe Tato and before, who was before him? Oh, Donald Trump. Who was before Trump? Obama opened up the
Hmm.
borders, let all these illegals in. The Democrats had this plan to let all these illegals in and turn them into voters for them. That's what this is all about. So they create this problem. Donald Trump and the American or the U.S. citizens get tired of this bullshit and say, no, 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 we want them out. We're tired of this crap. We ain't paying for them. We don't want them around. They're a drain on the economy. They're a drain on everything. Um, and so we're going to clean them up. We're going to clean it up. So they go to clean it up, and who's the bad guy now? The Democrats keep saying, "Oh, they're fascists. They're bad. They want to, they're Nazis," like you were saying, all this stuff. So of course they're being demonized. So the sheep that follow these people think, "I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to be a hero," and you got all these freaking
Yep.
idiots who go out there and do shit like this, and they get killed. And then they're called ICE agents who are doing their job are called murderers. And I guarantee there isn't a decent cop in this world that wants to hurt somebody, that wants to have to use deadly force, that wants to have to use force. They just want to go home. They want to do their job and go home to their family. That's it. But these people insert themselves into these situations and they're egged on by these freaking idiots who encourage this. And then, their hands free. They're like, see, we told you they're Nazis. See,
They instigate it.
they
They
do.
they push it, and it goes back to, where did we lose our way that we are not for U.S. citizens first?
Right.
I don't understand that point. I mean, there's background that I have in being a former teacher, in working at the university. I have stories. I mean, that could be for another show, of the impact that you were mentioning that people don't see. Uh, that could be for a whole other show because there's so much to talk about on that. The bottom line is, though, when like us as the taxpayers, us as U.S. citizens need something, it's not there for us.
Right.
We're never first. It's
You know,
things I've gone through in the last 2 years with some medical stuff. You got to kind of fend for yourself at that point. But if you're here illegally, you cross the border, you don't have your stuff in order, you get all these handouts. And people say it doesn't happen, but it does. It does happen. So all these officers are doing, again, is enforcing the laws already on the book, something that the previous administration did not do.
right?
So it's that whole that saying, I've used it in the Scrabble community before too. Accountability looks like persecution to someone who's never been held accountable before.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
There is a 22-page PDF file, the Handbook for Constitutional Observers. They have a 3-point disclaimer. Number one, the handbook is for educational purposes only. Number two, the authors of this resource are not your lawyers, and they have not your lawyers bolded. And number three, we are in an evolving legal landscape.
See, we want you to go out and do this, but we won't protect you when you find
Hmm.
out that you're breaking a law and you get hurt.
The role of a constitutional observer is to observe and document law enforcement interactions, inform individuals about civil rights and due process, and share support resources. I love how they're all about due process until we go and get Maduro and bring him up on charges and give him his due process. And now all of a sudden, these no kings people want a dictator.
Well, maybe they're
Yeah.
upset because we brought in a Venezuelan legally.
Yeah, if we'd have set him up in Mexico, let him walk across, and then it captured him, I think we'd have been okay. Maybe.
Maybe.
And well, the
Uh,
Democrats were pissed because they weren't informed. I'm like, of
Yeah.
course you're not going to be informed.
I'm not
I
gonna
was
tell you.
actually going, I was going to sleep that night. I was like, okay. And then my phone started like blowing up slowly. And I turned on TV. I was like, oh, Fox News is live in the middle of a Saturday, or was it Friday night or Saturday night?
Friday night.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Friday. Something's going down. And yeah, I stayed up for a bit. I was like, I think we just bombed Venezuela. And sure, next morning when I woke up, I was like, damn.
So
To
all the
to be fair, I wouldn't have notified either party though.
Mm-mm.
no.
Democrats or Republicans. I don't trust
He
either
has
of them.
he has the power to do it for
Right.
the Constitution. He already has that, or one of the power acts that were
Mhm.
passed. He already has the authority to do it. Yeah, I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't tell
Look what
anybody.
they're doing with ICE. They're ready to say ICE is here, ICE is there. That ICE block app that went out. They're ready to rat on wherever they are at. That would have been all over the news within, your
Well, and
fake news CNN and what MS Now changed their name but still the same bullshit. So
the Democrats. I don't care. I'm going. The Democrat. He already did this.
No,
The
you're good.
Democrat. The Democrats were complaining about the Maduro raid, saying, "Well, we weren't briefed. Blah blah blah. There's no briefing, and there's no planned briefing." And that was like the day it happened. I'm like, okay, you have to have a debrief of everybody involved before you can have a briefing of Congress,
mhm.
et cetera, et cetera. So they had the briefing. I guess it was earlier today, and Democrats are whining, saying they didn't even talk about a plan for moving forward in Venezuela. Blah blah blah. No, that's not what the briefing was about. The briefing was about the mission that already happened. Had nothing to do with what we're doing in the future.
What they should have done was like print it out like on paper and like right before they were gonna drop, like have
Here,
like one of the agents run to all the doors and just throw it at all the doors. Like, here you go, I've been briefed
under
by
the door.
paper. Yeah, down the hallway, like just throw it at all the doors there in the middle of the night. Like, you got briefed, you
You've
weren't
been
there.
notified. Not our problem. You didn't read it.
And make
Yeah,
sure that Mayor Mandani gets his briefing as well.
Yeah, yeah. He watches
Mr.
it weekly.
Free,
His briefing, I think.
Yeah,
Mr.
that'll be
Free.
Yeah,
another topic that we got to talk about.
free
Mhm.
buses
There's a
that aren't
lot of
free.
people that are pissed because the fares went up, the subway fare
Mhm.
went up, bus fare went up, and they're pretty upset about that.
And I guess De Niro moved out of New York City because he's going to lose half of his wealth.
Well,
So,
they're going to tax the rich, so now he leaves.
I I'd move too.
yeah.
Um, but we'll stay on top of this as well, so we can all
It's
this
like they're
ice
sitting over me to shut up.
this ice stuff, it's out of hand. The fact that the citizens are being told by their leaders to basically intervene,
In
but then
Portland,
they're
they're teaching the government in Portland, the city government is teaching people how to do this and how to resist and how to interfere. Not just observe, but interfere.
In Austin too, one of the bars was doing ice workshops. Um,
what's the common
I,
denominator there?
Liberal dipshits, California
hell,
native transplants.
California, aren't you one of
I'm not one of them.
born and raised in Texas.
those? Same.
Sorry.
Um,
You're on
100%
the good side now.
Whataburger. But yeah, we'll stay on top of this,
Prior to the buyout.
and we'll I
I was
think
never a liberal.
we'd like to have one
Former
on,
liberal, yep.
a little bit more often, kind of get your insight. He stays on top of things,
I'm the news
any
weather
breaking
junkie.
news. Yeah, any breaking news, things like that. He stays on top of that, and I think if you'd be interested, I think we're be okay with having you
Yep.
on more often.
I'm
Um,
down for it.
that
Hey,
being said, that being said, anybody else who is interested, specifically if you don't agree with us, come on. We're not
please.
we're not here to humiliate you. We're not here to make you feel uncomfortable. We'll give you the platform. Have it, talk, we'll ask questions, we'll go with there. It won't be us attacking. I've been told that, y'all are just bringing me on to attack, stuff like that. So by all means, come on, you know, state your case. Let's find common ground and show that that can happen because there's not enough of that going on right now, in my opinion. It's all the right side in their echo chamber, the left side in their echo chamber, and there is no middle anymore.
Need constructive dialogue, and able to agree to disagree. Two main things.
Yeah, and that's how you build relationships. Not like I'm not talking about like a physical relationship, but a relationship inside a community, inside a
Hmm.
city, inside a county, a state, whatever. You got to talk, and exchange your ideas. Otherwise, you just everybody's still doing this.
There
And
was a Charlie Kirk said something about that. Like when we stop talking, I forgot the exact quote, but he said something to that extent.
well, I mean, I had a sixth grade teacher who I loved to death, and she always said, "When you stop learning, you stop learning," and that's always stuck with me. So I want to learn. Teach me, educate me,
We
put me
should
in my place.
always be trying to grow, learn, absorb information. Always.
Yeah,
What else should we always be doing, Angela?
we should. Hector's trying to get me to shut up. I got one here. I can talk forever.
I don't. We can talk forever. Yeah.
Bye, Hector. My show. Go away. Okay.
Uh,
I just always remember everybody. Just be good humans. Bye.